Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another U3 podcast. I hope you're all having a wonderful and beautiful Sunday like we are here. And if you're not, I hope this helps a little bit.
Yeah.
All we do is we try to entertain and talk, and if somebody watches, that's great too. Drake, I have something I want to tell you.
What?
I was questioned by a cop the other day.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So this is what happened. I'm at this house with a friend. And while we are there hanging out, all of a sudden we get a knock on the door. And my friend is over by the window and goes, Jessic? I'm like, yeah. He's like, there's a cop here. And by the way, this friend of mine that's whose house I was at. I was at their house. And so this cop's at the door, right? And I open the door, and he's standing there and looking at me as if I just killed someone.
Why?
Now, this is why. Because at this moment, he thinks that I possibly have broken into that house, and somebody is hiding inside of that house, calling the police.
Why would you do that if you broke in?
Why would you open the door to the police? I don't know. But so, I don't know. But this is what he's thinking right now, okay? Because he tells me when I say, hey, officer, is there anything I can help you with, anything? He's like, yeah, we're here because there is, somebody called 911 from this address. And so this is when I look at my friend, which is not, the cop can't see my friend. My friend is up in the other room or something, but I can see him from the inside of the house. I look at him as like, did you call the police? And he shrugs at me because his phone is turned off right now, right? So he doesn't even have a phone right now that's working. And I'm like, I don't believe anybody called him. And the officer looks at me and goes, no, we're having somebody call from this house right now as we speak, is calling 911. And we are talking to them on 911. And I'm like, what? There's no one else in the house but me and my friend. And then that's when I call the friend over so he can see the friend, which lived at that house.
Yeah.
And then he's like, no one else is here, you sure? And I'm like, yeah. And so I find out through like talking to him, I figure out that the person that's calling isn't talking on the phone. It's
Really?
just a blank phone, right? And so I am freaking out, one, because this cop, one, thinks me and my friend are doing something wrong, even though we are doing nothing wrong at all.
Yeah.
And so I go and get my phone. He asked me to look at my phone. So I get my phone and I make sure my phone's not accidentally calling him, because that happens sometimes. And so I'm holding my phone and I'm like, it's not my phone. And he's like, well, are there any other phones in the house? And I say, no, there's only my friend's phone, which is dead. And they don't have a home phone or anything. I make sure that's cool with my friend and stuff. I'm like, there's no home phones here, right? And he's like, no, we have no other phones in this house that I know of besides mine and yours, and mine's dead. I'm like, okay. So the cop has to then, one, apparently this is a no-no. When like a normal person comes up to your door and you have a screen door, right? And you open the door so that you can talk to them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't do that when there's a cop there. Don't open the screen door. Because he thinks that if you open that screen door, you're going to try to hurt him in some way. Because he immediately, when I opened the screen door just a little bit, he took a step back and like put his hand up like, stay there. I'm like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm freaking out of this moment. I'm like,
I need to know.
I've never had even a ticket, like from speeding or anything. I've done nothing. And all of a sudden this cop is questioning me. He has to take my name. He has to look at my license. He has to ask me for my birthday. He has to like do all this stuff, right? And he's writing it down on a piece of paper.
Your bank account, your social security.
Well, see, I'd be like a little suspicious about it if it wasn't a cop from in town that I knew the cop. The cop didn't know me, but of course I see this cop all the time.
Yeah.
He's always driving around. He's come to school and stuff and talked and blah, 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 blah. And so I've seen him before. And so the fact that I knew the cop and I knew that he was a cop made it a little bit better, but being looked at and treated as if you're doing something wrong is like, it's kind of startling, especially when you've never done anything wrong ever.
Yeah.
And so we ended up finding out. The cop ended up leaving. I'm guessing he was going to go and look my name up and see if I had any criminal records or anything. He would have probably came back and found out it was mass murder. But
Huh?
well,
I have so many questions!
let's say I was older than what I looked, and I just got out of jail 2 months ago off on bail from kidnapping somebody.
Okay.
He'd probably come back to the house. Because then he would suspect something. But when he ran my name, of course everything would come up clean and stuff. He never showed back up or anything. And actually, we ended up leaving the house because we were kind of nervous. We're like, if there's a phone calling from inside the house, and this is a big house.
Yeah.
There's a phone calling from inside the house, and we're the only two in there. And there's only two phones. There's someone else in the house.
And that's not good. That is never good.
No, that's not a good thing to happen, right? And so we're kind of like freaking out. So we end up leaving the house for a little bit, and we call his dad on my phone, right?
Mm.
And because this is technically his parents' house, but we're staying there right now. And so we call his dad, and we're like, hey, this is what happened, blah, 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 blah. And the dad ends up being saying, oh, yeah, I think I accidentally dialed him when I was mowing, because I was bumping up and down, and I hit my phone and called him. And so this entire thing happened because my friend's dad's phone called the police, and they had my friend's dad's address on there. And so the cop came to my friend's dad's
Creepy,
address.
but I guess
So nothing was wrong. There was no one in the house. But oh my goodness, it was crazy. It was a crazy day.
That sounds pretty nuts, dude.
Yeah, so let's just say that was the most exciting thing that happened this week. It was really crazy. So that's my little story for everybody. I hope everybody enjoyed that little tidbit of information. Is there anything that you want to talk about, Drake? I know it took up a lot of the time.
I already forgot.
Okay. Is any incidents that you've had like that with cops?
No.
No, you haven't had any come to your house thinking you're a kidnapper?
No.
No? Do you ever, when you're driving, do you ever feel like whenever you pass a cop, like, they gotta pull you over even if you're not doing anything wrong?
Sometimes, yeah.
I feel like that all the time. I know I'm not doing anything wrong, but I always feel like they're gonna do something.
That calm down, or you will do something kind of dumb.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I know that my parents, when I first learned how to drive, they would always be like, it's a nice day out, so remember there's gonna be police out. And I'm like,
Why would you tell me that?
Well, I was always under the impression, I was like, okay, I'll make sure to drive extra safe.
I thought that was only on, like, holidays.
Well, let's say if it was winter and it was snow, the first nice day, everyone's out on the roads, right? Because it's the first nice day. And so there's always police out. But,
And then on Christmas, are they still out? Of course.
Well, of course, yeah, all of them are out on holidays also. But it's one of those things, I don't drive any different if I know there's going to be cops or not, but I just get a lot more nervous.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But that's just how things go, and they're there for our production. And I have family members that are cops and stuff, and I'm not against cops in any ways. There are some bad eggs, of course. But, yeah, I think that what happened to me will definitely be something that I won't forget for any time soon. It was I was nervous. It sounds like really like, nothing happened, it wasn't that big of a deal, you just came and asked you questions. But when you're not expecting that, and all of a sudden you're home alone with your friend, and the knock comes on the door, and it's a police officer asking you questions as if you live there and you're supposed to be in that house.
You're kind of like, go!
Yeah, it makes you kind of nervous. Well, if you ever had anything like that happen in your guys' lives, leave a comment down below.
Down below.
I would love to read about some of those stories.
Yeah. It'd be very interesting.
Yeah, so please like, comment, share, subscribe, and we will see you all next time. Either on the next Let's Play or the next podcast.
I barely talked this video, but oh well.
That's okay. You talked a lot the one before.
Yeah, I talked a lot during the kids' TV
last week.
Show one. Yeah,
you did. So thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next time. Say bye, Drake.
Adios, amigos.
Bye, guys.